Hello everyone in Instagram land. This is the first Cooking with Sgt Perez, so I figured I'd do something easy and make a beef Wellington. I know. It's so serious I had to put my chef's jacket on. Yeah, I know, legit. I wish I could say Gordon Ramsay gave it to me, but he didn't. He doesn't even know I exist. Well, he will after this. But anyway, let me show you the ingredients. All right, so get a plate or a tray or some shit like that. Then you got mushrooms, English mustard, or you can use horseradish. I like English mustard. Your fresh thyme. You can use like ham or Parma ham. I'm using prosciutto because I like it, tastes better. Your puff pastries for the outside, you can just get these ones. I know there's a couple different companies that use them. And then of course, the main one, the beef fillet. All right, now this is gonna be in half. So I'm gonna do two, because I'm definitely not gonna make a beef Wellington that is that large. Maybe, I don't know. We'll probably just do one to make it easy. So the original beef Wellington calls for like a pancake that goes in there, but mine's gonna be a little lighter. I'm not gonna use the pancake. I am gonna do the prosciutto with the mushrooms. No chestnuts. I'm not a really big chestnut fan. Maybe I'll throw some almonds in there, but almonds kind of taste funny. But it's still gonna be really good. All right, so we're gonna go through the steps of what you gotta do to get this. I did decide that I'm just gonna do this whole one. I think with the puff pastries, it'll be decent size, you know. But yeah, here we go. I'm gonna show you what to do. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So you wanna unwrap your filet. Now the butcher I went to was dumb and he cut it. But the cool thing is, what you can do if that ever happens is get them all together, you know, try to size them up, squeeze them nice and tight, and then wrap them in plastic wrap and let it sit overnight. Sit overnight, it'll make a shape like the fillet that you want. Now the cool thing is if you wanted to cut this in half, I mean it's already cut. But what I'm gonna do is make it as one whole. You wanna make sure you put your salt and pepper. You wanna salt and pepper the crap out of this thing. All right, because you're gonna lose a lot of it when you cook it, so don't think it's gonna be too salty or anything like that. Plus you got your prosciutto, yeah, that's gonna help out. So yeah, make sure you salt and pepper it. And next you're gonna want a nice hot pan, like this. Okay, you wanna put it on medium to high heat, because what you're gonna do first is sear the beef. You don't wanna cook it in the pan, you just wanna sear it. All right, and then also, while you're at it, make sure your oven is set to 425, 450, depending on if you have a conventional oven or not. This is just a regular oven, so 425 is good. You know, regular apartment oven. All right, so get your pan nice and hot. As Gordon Ramsay say, pan on. You know, you have to do it. And yeah, then you put olive oil. You could do extra virgin or regular. I like extra virgin olive oil because, I mean, it's awesome. It tastes really good. All right, so you want to put a nice little helping of olive oil in your pan. Spin it around. All right, let it get nice and hot. Now what you're gonna do is take your beef and you're gonna put it in your pan and listen for that sizzle. All right, now you're only gonna wanna cook it like about a minute on each side because you're trying to sear the outside. And I'm gonna show you a trick that I actually learned from Gordon Ramsay, not in person, just by watching his videos, about how you can cook it fast and get the whole side of it so that it cooks better and you get a nice crisp layer. And that's also why you put the salt and pepper and the seasoning on it, because that's just gonna caramelize it. It's gonna be like, bam! I think that's trademark, so sorry about that. So you take your meat, you wanna set it in there. Hear that? That's what you wanna hear. So you got it in there. What you do is you bring your meat up to the side, up to your red here, and then tip. And what it does is it allows that oil to get back down there and cook it. So like I said, you don't want to cook it. You're just trying to sear it and give it a nice thing. So you do it a minute each side, and you make sure you get your ends. When you flip it, it'll look like that on one side. You have to use a mixture of spatula and tongs because the butcher decided to cut the fillet the wrong way, but we're not gonna let that stop us. Just let that sear. Get a nice little crust on it. So once you've seared it, just put it off to the side, let it sit and chill. And then now you're gonna prep everything else. All right, now you're gonna take your mushrooms. You can get chestnut mushrooms. You know, the ones I like to use are the cremini mushrooms, the whole ones. You only need about 8 to 9 ounces, depending. I'm gonna use 9 ounces because it's gonna be a thinner layer of the mushroom mixture. Take your mushrooms, pop off the stem, throw it in the garbage. And then you just wanna keep this part, okay? Pop, keep that part, throw the other part away. So you got your bowl of mushrooms, take them over to your Ninja or your food processor, whatever you have. Toss them in, start chopping them up. Shout out to Todd Newcomb for hooking me up with this Ninja for my birthday. So thanks, buddy. So you want to get your mushrooms to about that consistency. You know, you see it's very chopped up. It's gonna look very watery, but that's what this next part's for. You gotta fry it to get all the water out. As you get yourself a second pan, you want a dry one. Don't put any oil in there. So don't use the one that you just cooked your beef in. You can if you want, like if you only have one pan, I mean, you can do that, it'll add some of the flavoring, but the whole point is to get all the water out of your mushrooms. So you want to fry this and get all that water out. See how there's water in there? Believe it or not, mushrooms are crazy filled with water. You need to make sure you get it all out of there because it'll definitely break apart if you don't. So you take your time, and what you're going to want to do is peel this off the sticks. You don't want the sticks, you just want the petals. And just put it in there while it's cooking on you. See all that water? You want all that water gone. The easiest way to get thyme off the stick is kind of like when you're a kid. You're taking leaves out, you just bloop, like that. You slide your hand, you gotta make that same noise too. Bloop. What you do is mix it up. You want it to burn, you just wanna get that water out of there. You wanna try to get as much water out as possible. Then once your mushrooms are all out of water, you wanna take it out, let it cool, just put it on a plate. Just put it on a plate, spread it out so it can cool down because, you know, you don't have to be crazy hot when you touch it or later. So a little trick that I learned when wrapping stuff, because you're gonna be wrapping things in cling wrap, and you gotta let it sit for a bit, is wet your cutting board. See if it'll let me turn, no. Just wet your cutting board a little bit and the cling wrap will stick to it better and it doesn't like rip and go all over the place. A wet rag, kind of just wet it down. Doesn't have to be soaking, but a little damp, you know, you see the wetness, you know, water, it's the essence of wetness. Then take your cling wrap, or plastic wrap, whatever you want to call it. And I do a couple layers. Just bring it over. Get your cling wrap all nice and down there, ready to go, okay? Then, grab your prosciutto. So you get your prosciutto, you only need about 12 pieces or so. And you want to stack them, so you get your prosciutto. So you want to stack and overlap like this. So then, you got your prosciutto there, looks like a delicious charcuterie board. And then what you do is take your mushrooms and you're going to spread it all over. So you spread it all around. Now you can do more mushrooms if you wanted to literally fill, but I like this amount. I think this is a good amount of mushroom and thyme. Then what you're gonna do is take your fillet. If it's whole, then it's whole, but if not, you can piece it together and you're gonna place it right there. Not at the end, you wanna place it right there. So you put the fillet right in the middle, because what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your cling wrap and you're going to fold it like this. It's hard to do with one hand. And you're going to lift it and roll it over. Now make sure before you wrap it, you put your English mustard on your fillet. You know, just cover it and then wrap it in your prosciutto and onion, or not onion, mushroom mixture. Wrap. You're gonna roll it. And a cool trick that you can do with the cling wrap to get it, because you want it to be very tight. You just take the cling wrap and squeeze it on both sides at the same time and start twisting. And if you need more cling wrap for this, that's okay. Grab it. Then once you have your loaf all wrapped up, put it in the fridge for like 5 minutes. You gotta let it cool down and get its shape. But while it's in there, then you get your puff pastry stuff together. So you want to open your puff pastry. Now, if it comes frozen, make sure you thaw it out. All right. So you just grab one of your puff pastries. A lot of them already come pre-floured, but if you need to get flour for it, you can sprinkle some on your surface. And make sure to lay the shrink wrap like you did before, because you're going to do the same process once you get it out with the puff pastry, and you're going to wrap it. That's what you do. Undo your puff pastry. You may want to spread it. If you have different puff pastry that doesn't come pre-floured and rolled out, you may have to roll it just to get it big enough. If you push it down, you can find the line, take a knife, and just score it. Score it without cutting your cling wrap, because then you have to lay more cling wrap. Score it, and then now you get rid of this piece. But don't get rid of it, you can use it for later. And then just massage these two pieces together so that it creates one. So you now got enough to cover the whole beef Wellington. So while you wait for your beef to set in the fridge, you get about 5, 10, maybe even 20 minutes before it's like ready to be wrapped. What you got to do is get your 3 egg yolks ready. Now you got to separate the yolks, because you just want the egg yolks, because what you're going to do is you'll use that to base the outside of the puff pastry, and then it's going to give it a really nice golden brown top on there. So you just take your egg yolks, whisk them up. You can use a whisk or a fork, doesn't matter. I'm using a fork. Got these awesome glass mixing bowls from Amazon. Then once that's ready, make sure your puff pastry is ready to go. And then when you're at your 20-minute mark, which we've got a couple more minutes, then you grab your meat out of the fridge and get ready to wrap. So after your fillet has been sitting in the fridge for about 20 minutes to get ready to set, pull it out, and then you're gonna wrap it in your puff pastry. So you've got your fillet, it's all wrapped nice and tight. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take it out and you're gonna put it on your puff pastry. You know, roll it and then mash the two sides up like we did right here, so that it, you know, creates a nice little pocket. Put it in the middle of your puff pastry, and then you're going to take this, you're going to lift and roll like we did originally. What I do is twist it like that, keep it in there nice and tight. Then when you roll it, make sure you squeeze it nice and tight. Now if you don't have like industrial type cling wrap, like I don't, what you can do is roll another piece of cling wrap lengthwise, because you're going to want to twist this one pretty good. Do it lengthwise, put another piece around it, and then roll it. And then squeeze the ends and spin it. If you need to do like this to spin it, you can. The more even, the better. So you've got it wrapped in your puff pastry. Now you have to leave it sit in the fridge for about 30 minutes to 24 hours. I'm gonna sit it in there for about 2 hours, just so that it can fully firm up, and that nothing will fall apart, and that everything kind of just stays packed in there. So I'm gonna put this in the fridge, my fantastic beef Wellington, and then in 2 hours, we're gonna take it out, and then we're gonna coat it with the egg wash, and then scar it, and I'll show you the rest of that in a second. So, see you in about 2 hours. All right, it's been 2 hours. The beef Wellington is nice and set. It's cold, which is what you want, you know, so it's all together. Well, it's not gonna fall apart. So what you do is you unwrap this. So you wanna unwrap and then leave it on your here on the cling wrap. So you get it unwrapped, and you take your brush or spoon or whatever you got. Take it, you just wash it. You wash the top here. Egg wash. Now what this is going to do is it's going to create that nice brown crust. So once you get your egg wash done in there, take your knife. Now you want to use the back side of the knife because you're not trying to cut this, but you're going to score the top of it, right? You're just going to go to the top, push down a little bit, and you're going to score it like so, okay? And then for design reasons, you know, just so that it looks a little better, you can go on the sides and then just kind of curve it down like that. Now once you've got it scored, then you get your tray out and you put it on there. Make sure remember your oven is set to 425, and you want to make sure you have a rack right in the middle. You want to put this in the middle, you want to put it towards the top. So you get it on your tray and get ready to go, but now what you want to do is cover it with some salt on top, because it's going to give it a crispy little, nice little flavoring on top. All right, once your oven is heated, take out, you're gonna throw this bad boy in there. That's right in the center, and then close her up. So when you set your timer, set it for, if you want medium rare, then you're gonna wanna set it between 20 and 25 minutes at 425. If you want it medium, set it between 30 and 35 minutes. I'm gonna set mine for 30, and the most important part, a lot of people tend to forget this, especially when they cook meat regularly, is that you have to let your meat rest when you bring it out from being cooked. This will cook for 30 minutes, so I'm gonna let it rest for 10 after that. Now, this isn't a quick meal, so if you're looking for like a quick 30-minute meal, this is definitely not it. All right, but it's gonna be delicious. So yeah, when it's done cooking, I got the timer going right now. After it's done, it'll rest for 5 to 10 minutes, because what that'll do is it'll allow the juices to soak back up into the meat, and it'll finish kind of cooking the inside to give you that beautiful pink center. All right, so see you in about 30 minutes. Ladies and gents, it's time. Oh yeah. So you pull it out of the oven, and it's beautiful golden brown. You can touch it. If it's hard, ooh, that is warm. Do you hear this? That's what you want. And if it's soft anywhere, throw it back in for a couple more minutes, but you don't want to burn it. Okay, turn your oven off and let it rest for 10 minutes. While it's resting, you can do one of two things. You can move it to another cutting board or another plate so that it doesn't soak up all those juices. Just make sure that you really get a good handle on it, because while it's resting, you don't want to mess with it. So someone asked me, how do I keep the bottom from getting super soggy? And the best way to do it is remove it from all those juices and just put it on a plate and let it rest for your 10 minutes. So it's been 10 minutes. This bad boy has rested. Look, check it out. You can see all the juices that came back out. That's okay. Now, what you do is you take a serrated blade, just because you got to get through that tough outer shell, and it's just going to slice right through the meat. So, let's check it out. Oh yeah, listen to that crunch. Check her out. Oh yeah, look at that pink on the inside. Perfect. Medium. What is this called? Beef Wellington. Yeah. So I'm gonna serve this up. Got my friends here because, I mean, I can't do all this by myself. But thanks for watching, hanging out. Hope you guys had fun. I'm gonna try to do these quite a bit with more food, different types of food, quick food, things like that. But if you like it, let me know. If you hate it, mind your business. All right. Thanks for hanging out with Sgt Perez.
let's cook again next time.